"Make decisions quickly, but reverse them slowly," is a quote that I love, and this is what this video is going to be about today, because I see a lot of people making decisions very slowly, be like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Maybe I should go traveling for a year. Maybe I should do this job. Maybe I should start this business. Maybe I should start the gym, start something with fitness. But nothing ever actually happens. People are actually doing the opposite. They're making decisions very, very slowly and probably not even coming to a decision overall, not reaching a definite conclusion, not having that kind of goal of where they actually want to be with this thing that they've implanted inside their mind. And then before they've even made the decision, or straight away after they've made the decision, they've gone to the gym once, they've made one YouTube video, they've been on one date with some girl that they've started seeing, they're like, you know what, this isn't working, I'm going to give up, I just don't really feel it's right now. And I think that's a big problem in society, especially with young people have this generational mindset of being like, you know what, I've got all the time in the world, you know, the world is my oyster. I'm so kind of entitled kind of mentality that I can afford to do this. Like, things will just slip into place for me. And you have to kind of be hit in the face with life to realise, you know what, like, this isn't reality. This is not how it's going to be for the average person. And I want you to realise this early on. Because if you don't realise this early on, you're going to get to your 30s and especially in your 40s, and you're going to feel very lost and trapped in the world that is your reality, whatever that may be. And it's probably not going to be a very positive experience for you, because you're going to not have made the decisions that you actually wanted to make in your life, and you're going to be in free fall throughout life. In relationships that you don't want to be in a career that you don't want to be in, looking yourself in the mirror and being unhappy, all of these types of things where you just kind of let the world decide where you want to be, where it wants you to be, and you've just been okay with it. You floated through different life, you've floated through life, and you've not grabbed the bull by the horn, so to speak, and decided where you want life to be. You deciding your kind of vision board, how exactly you want your day-to-day life to look, and also long-term. So let's look at a couple of examples. So I've actually prepared a whiteboard again. I've not done this for a while, but it's something I really enjoy doing, and I think it's quite good for you to see kind of different examples. And the examples I've created here are two different examples of the average kind of 20, maybe 18. So say starting from going to university and then kind of coming out the other side and kind of finding your feet. Because I think the average person will go to university, they come out of the university at 21, 22 years old, and they'll go traveling for a couple of years. They'll want to go places like Thailand, Australia and all of this shit. And then they'll come out of traveling and they probably haven't really progressed a lot. And they'll also come back with the mindset of, you know, I've been to university, I've been traveling, I've been away from home. I want to carry that on. I want to kind of follow the bright lights. I'm going to go to like London or somewhere like that. And I'm going to live somewhere where all I can do is kind of pay the bills and that's it. And it's probably going to be a job that they don't really enjoy, but it's the only thing maybe they can get at this given time. And they're like, you know what, it's okay, I'm in London. I looked, especially to my parents and to peers that I don't even care about, that I'm successful. And that's what matters, that's what I care about, so I'm going to do that. And this is quite sad, really, because it's very hard for you to kind of get out of that bubble and have that mindset, especially when you get to like 25, to actually go and change that. So this is what I want you to kind of realize, is that hopefully you are around my age or even younger. Ideally, you can look at these two examples and be like, you know what, this is something that I could emulate. And this is very true, because the two examples that I've prepared are both people that I know personally. I know this has actually happened. So you can say, you know what, this is not really realistic, because it is. I know people who are at two different ends of the spectrum. And I observe every single person that I meet in a day-to-day kind of scenario. And I take a lot of notice of them, whether they be very successful in my eyes, whether they be someone I want to emulate or someone I completely don't. And I look at the positive traits of that person that I want to emulate, and I take that, and I look at the negative persons of the person that I don't want to become, and I make sure that I do not become them and follow the kind of lifestyle and the habits that they have adapted throughout their life. So let's move to the whiteboard. And we've got two different men here. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, probably better if I hold it this side. So we have man one. probably best if I hold it like here. We have man 1 here, and he probably goes to university, 18 to 21 years old, comes out of university, goes to traveling, like I say, goes to the Australias, goes to Southeast Asia, all of these places across the world, till 24 or so, comes out of that, still feels quite lost in his life, has no money, has no kind of ambition, has probably been living a quite a degenerate lifestyle, sleeping around, drinking, doing drugs, kind of not really making any progress in any area of his life whatsoever. He might come out at 24 or so and think, you know what, I actually have to get a job, and he's probably going to get quite a lot of pressure off his parents to go out and get a job. So he thinks, you know what, London, all my mates have gone to London who I went to university with, I want to do that too, I want a piece of that pie. So he goes to London, maybe he gets a graduate job, gets on a graduate scheme, 30k a year in London. Realistically, he's probably spending every single penny that he's earning from that job to live a half any kind of decent lifestyle in London. You're talking 2 to 3 grand at least, 2 to 3,000 pounds. So everything he's earning is pretty much going to go back in rent, food and lifestyle. And he's probably going to need some help, probably from his parents, if he wants to live any kind of half decent lifestyle there. He's going to do that job for a couple of years and maybe realise, you know what, I don't actually want to live in London because it's really expensive. I can't even afford to live here. And he's then going to realise, okay, maybe I can come back home for my parents. They'll probably still accept him, and he can get a job around his local area. It's probably going to be worse pay. He's probably going to feel worse about himself because now he's 26 years old and he's not kind of really achieved a lot really in his life when he truly deeps it, and he probably knows this himself. And this is going to be hard for him to take. He's working now with 16-year-olds where he could have got a job for a few years when he was 16, 19, 20 and be set up very differently. But he's back doing this type of job, maybe working in catering, type of hospitality work, or in a shop or something like that. He does this for a couple of years and still feels quite lost. He may kind of even sink into somewhat of depression because he realised time is actually getting on now, and we can now summarise this and realise this guy is now 28 years old. He has no money and probably very little savings, if anything at all. He's still going out on the weekends with the boys because that's the only pleasure he kind of gets from his very mediocre, poor lifestyle choices. He's very unlikely to be in a relationship with a half-decent woman because any half-decent woman would look at this guy and realise he's probably not got his shit together. And that's very important for any half-decent woman to realise that a guy that they want to be with is going to have that together, and they're going to go for that guy. You know, even if he was the go-to guy, he was a jock at university, he was in all the sports societies, he was maybe somewhat handsome, if he's just kind of a bum, and just staying around his parents' house, working a job that has no future in, he doesn't enjoy and has no ambition to get out of it, he's going to be very unattractive to any half-decent woman. He's very unlikely to pay off any of his debt. He's going to be in 60,000, 80,000 pounds of debt, which is only compounding every single day. He's drifting through life, and this is very difficult, especially you get older and older, and people will probably get stuck in a job that they, don't want to do. And he's going to be in exactly this position with no hope, hoping someone that comes out and saves him, which is very unlikely to do unless mummy and daddy are able to do so. And that is kind of the average life of someone who probably goes to university and doesn't really have much clue of what they're doing, which, trust me, I know from experience going to university that is the average person. They don't know what they want to do with their life. And this is exactly probably the type of thing that they're going to go through. So that's one person at 28. We go back to man 2. And I'll just have to switch the whiteboards now to hopefully you can see that this side. So we have man 2 now, and maybe he's been an electrician from the age of 18. He's got into a decent trade, plumbing, bricklaying, something like that from an early age. And so he's done that for a couple of years, and maybe he gets to 20, 21 years old. And he's on around £30,000 a week, which is very good, which is actually higher than the average salary in the UK, which is around £27,500 a year in the UK. He's doing very well for himself. He does that for a few years. He's also hitting the gym pretty well when he's not working, and on the weekends he's probably found a half decent woman, especially in his local area, because he's very attractive at that age, because a lot of guys don't have their shit together whatsoever, and he's going to be very attractive. So if he wants that, he can definitely have a decent relationship with a decent woman. So he's going to have that, and he's going to be maybe thinking, you know what, I've actually got some decent money behind me now. I'm 21 and I've got £40,000 behind me. I could put down a deposit on a house, and I could rent it out, and I could live with my parents still. And I could pretty much pay this mortgage off within maybe 5, 6, 8 years. Depends how quick this guy wants to kind of move forward to the next chapter of his life. So he does this in even 8 years, so to speak. He's 29 years old now, and we'll just say 28 just to make them sound like they are the exact same age. And it's definitely possible, because I again know someone who's a personal friend of mine who's literally doing this right now. And he's 28 years old. He's got a house paid off. Maybe it's around £250,000, especially by this time. It's probably gone up to that. He's got £250,000 basically in his back pocket if he wants to sell that house straight away. So he could then go and release the equity from this house and spread it across a few different properties and get into property investment if that's a goal of his, if that's a way he sees himself making a decent money. He's probably got a decent amount of money, maybe in some investment portfolios such as stocks and shares, the S&P, crypto. He's probably done his research and realised, you know what, there's a lot of ways to make money, and especially I'm in this for the long run. I really want to be kind of, build generational wealth, which is very accessible to anyone, I believe. He's found his wife. He's found the woman that he really wants to settle with, be with for his life, have kids with, really do all of that nice stuff together, live a very fulfilling life. He's gone to the gym. He's built up a very impressive physique now. He can now go part-time. He maybe wants to start his own business in a trade that he has now become a master of, because he's been doing it for maybe 10 years now, and it takes around 7 years on average to become a master in anything. He's put in the work, and his life is going to be pretty good. I think if you think about this now, you think, which one would you rather be? And obviously I don't have to ask you this whatsoever. It's a very simple case that everyone wants to be man number 2. But unfortunately, nearly everyone that I know is living the lifestyle of man number 1. They are doing this. They are going to university again, something I did myself. They're getting themselves into a lot of debt. They're not really taking time to think about what they want to do with their life. And they're becoming trapped. They're getting to 30 years old, and they're like, shit, where did all that time go? I can't go out with the boys anymore, because they're actually starting to do a bit with their life. They're married now, they're having a baby, and this guy's actually got a decent job, so they don't want to do this stuff anymore. I'm still in that childlike mentality. And this is very hard for that person to kind of get to grips with, and it's very hard, for me being 23 now. I get it. I know exactly why everyone wants to fuck off to Australia. They want to go to Thailand. They want to go to these places where they think they will live a more fulfilling and happier lifestyle. But I don't have to go there to realize that won't be the case, because that won't bring you the things that matter and the things that will bring you genuinely happiness in your life. Will I maybe, go out to some of these places for a month or 2? Yeah, probably. But I'll be doing work out there. I'll be recording YouTube videos. I'll be writing a book that I plan on doing over the next year. But a lot of people aren't doing this. They don't have that mindset. They want to, travel and see all these places of the world. I get it. But you're coming back and building yourself up a bigger hill to climb. And it's going to be quite overwhelming when you come back and realise, I need to get a job. I don't really know what to do. Everyone around me is getting a bit older. You'll lose loved ones, It's a bit of an off-topic subject, but, life will catch up with you. And a lot of people think that it won't. People are becoming way too entitled and privileged in life to think it won't catch up with them, and things are going to be like this forever. We're all going to be able to, go out all the time and travel the world and do all of this stuff and not really have to think about the kind of grown-up real life things that, adults have to deal with, that your parents had to go through. It's going to hit you one day. And that's just having the kind of older head on your shoulders that, I've built and had to develop over the years. And it's hard, me being, 23, in your early days, you see people, maybe even your friends, they're driving around in the BMWs, the Audis, the Mercedes Benz, all of this stuff. They've got that, and you're in your shitty little car that barely even turns on when you put the keys in the ignition. It's hard. You're going to a gym that costs £15 a month. They're in a leisure centre that costs £100 a month. They're travelling to Australia. They're travelling to Thailand. They're going to Dubai. They're away basically the whole year. You look at your Instagram and you see them living this lifestyle. They're on a beach. They're surrounded by all these women, and you're in your like local town. It's pissing it down with rain. You're working for like barely any money that feels basically illegal nowadays, but you're doing it, and that's just patience, faith, and optimism. And that's all I've had the last few years. That's all I've had. Things have really gone wrong, but in those moments, the only thing that's kept me going is these three things. And I've always developed that patient approach of being like, let's get this right once. I think that's so important that you have to do that. When it comes to your career, when it comes to the relationship, the woman you want to spend the rest of your life with, when it comes to becoming the physique that you truly want to look at yourself in the mirror and realize you're proud of, your mental and physical and spiritual health, all of these things that I say time and time again actually matter in your life. You've taken some time to truly think about how you want that to look, and you've done exactly that. And some days were so hard. Some days you've really doubted it, because I have some element of doubt every single day. And I think, what's the point? Like, I'm doing this. I've gone through all this shit and a lot of stuff out of my control. Probably the same for you as well. And it's really hard, but you have to trust the process. And a lot of people will not do that. And that's the difference. That is basically what it's down to. They're not trusting the process of their own vision, because they want that instant kind of gratification, which won't bring them much at all in life. It doesn't bring you any meaning or purpose in your life, and it won't make you happy. I know that for sure. But you have to kind of think about that. Take some time, meditate a lot, spend a lot of your time truly thinking what you want to do with your life, and just focus solely on that years and years and years. And some days you'll make no progress. Some days are going to be hard. Everyone's going to doubt you. People will look around and be like, why doesn't he just go and do that thing, or whatever sounds a status quo kind of thing to do. And you keep plowing away every single day. You'll get there eventually. You have to keep the faith. And like I say, it's hard. You see all these people, they look like they're balling out of control, but trust me, it's a lie. A lot of people are living a lie. They're not being honest with you. And that's just the society that we live in. Everyone wants to look it good instead of doing good. And that's a big problem, but I don't think that's going to change. You can't change other people. You can only do this for yourself. And this is me to you, giving you this message. And just do exactly that. Do exactly what it takes to build that life, setting off early, getting to that stage where you're like, I've done it all. I can put my feet up now if I want to. You probably won't want to, realistically, if you've gone through all this journey. You're probably going to almost definitely want to keep pushing on. It's not as simple as that. We all think, if I do this, then later in life, I'll just kind of take it easier. Maybe you will, but you probably won't. And you're looking around at everyone else your age and be like, wait, where's my friends? They've not come up with me. They've not put the work in. They've not got to that level in life where I feel they're on my wavelength. And that's going to be hard for you to take. But like I say, I'm here to give you that guidance, and you can listen to me or you cannot. But I know this video, if you take the actionable steps that I've kind of said, it will set you up for the rest of your life. You do those things, you get your head down, you truly think about where you want to live your life, how you want it to look, and you've put all your attention to that for a few years. It's going to be exactly how you want it to look, and everything else. And I know that. So that's your decision. You have to keep that faith for the rest of your life. And remember, you have one life. Get it right as soon as possible. And there's going to be trials and tribulations along that. And you have to take some time, again, to truly realise what you want to do. And by no means am I saying you should jump at everything that comes your way and be like, you know what, okay, maybe I should just jump at the first job, first woman, first whatever it is that comes my way. It's not like that. You have to take time to realise what you want and you don't want, and this is going to take time. But once you kind of realise that, go all out in that and not really worry about all the other things, because like I've said time and time again, a lot of stuff don't actually matter in your life, and they're not going to bring you anything whatsoever. And really remember that. And yeah, I hope this video has really helped you, because I think it would have been really, really helpful if I was 16, 18, to find this out. I found this out really early. I found this out around 21 years old, but hopefully you're a similar age, and I hope that it's really helped you today. If it has, if you can leave a like, subscribe to this channel, and yeah, if you want any more guidance, I'll leave my one-to-one personal coaching link. Feel free to tap that and we'll get in contact soon. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.